We all couldn't wait for the final season of Mad Men. Our first guest, without a doubt, had the very best speech on television this year. He was giving advice to his buddy, Don Draper, on Mad Men.
You go into a business meeting. Is there food in your teeth, ashes on your tie? And you've got nothing to say. But you're wearing an Accutron. This watch makes you interesting.
Joining us in studio, Freddie Rumsen. It's Joel Murray. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I should have brought the watch. I'd be more interesting.
Now, Dan is not a fan of episodic television.
Right.
We should explain to him the final season. Everybody's waiting for the first episode. Mm-hmm. It starts with Joel's face on screen.
A massive head.
Extreme
I couldn't get
close-up.
over how big my head was in the shot. But
yeah, well, that's right away. I'm interested in the show because the pinkish hues or something. I feel like I'm looking in the mirror when I look at his face. That Irish. You have an acute case of Irish face, Joel.
yeah, like a guy who went to the Stones in Detroit last night.
Yeah.
And to prove that Caddyshack is and I want to ask you why we don't have a Caddyshack bar and grill in Chicago too, but Caddyshack, the most quotable movie and the most quoted movie. My buddy and I vans are about 2 hours east of Chicago still, and it's pouring rain on us at 2:30 in the morning. And I look at him and I sigh, and he says, "I'd keep playing."
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for a while yet. Yeah.
I'd keep playing.
How come no role for you in the movie? Your brother's in it. Brian Doyle, your other brother, wrote it. Harold Ramis, who was a family friend.
Well, I was playing football for Loyola Academy at the time, and my brother Brian took me out and basically said, there's this part of this kid who's every rich kid we caddied for up at Indian Hill from Winnetka, and you'd be great and to play Spalding. And I was kind of at the time going, hey, I'm not going to be no femme actor like you guys. I'm captain of the football team. I'm going to play college ball. What do I want to be in your little goofy movie for? And, yeah, kind of a bad choice. But I've seen what happened to Spalding, so, maybe I made the right choice in the long run.
Well, Mad Men, you were great as Freddie Rumsen. You played a boozer. The episode with you counseling Jon Hamm, just fantastic.
Yeah, do the work, Don. Yeah, and I get AA people coming up to me all the time saying, nobody ever says that, but you said that, you don't ever have to have another drink for the rest of your life. And I'm standing with a cocktail in my hand usually when they're talking to me and telling me this. Like, I'm not really a friend of Bob's, but... Thanks, though. Yeah, it was a pretty good scene. I did 15 episodes out of the whole series, but people seem to like Freddie.
Well, when you're with Jon Hamm, do you look at him and think to yourself, God, is he a good-looking man?
You do. And John Slattery as well. And
yeah.
I go, man, I've got an enormous Irish face.
Jon Hamm is like impossibly good looking.
Yeah.
It's like, that can't be. You can't be that good looking.
And just the greatest guy, and, just encyclopedia memory. He doesn't have to wait on a line. He knows everything.
Really?
He's just the nicest guy. Despite the fact from St. Louis.
He's a Cardinal fan. Yeah.
Well, how does he play the Jag so well if he's such a real nice guy? Because when he plays a D-bag, he is as good as he gets.
Well, he's got a steady gal, and you think about how many chicks he has to turn down. So I think he has to go to that Jag character now and then and just to fight them off.
Joel Murray in studio with us. I've said this before. We have very similar families. You're the Murrays. We're the McMurrays. You have 9. We have 12. We both have a sister that's a sister. You work with Jon Hamm. I kind of look like Jon Hamm.
Right.
Yeah. What? Well, yeah.
Well, I was the 9th. God bless Mom on that one. I can't imagine 12. 12's crazy.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
It's, just a few more than 9.
My sister lives up in Wilmette and bought the family home, and she had to add on to it for her and her husband. There's just the 2 of them. There were 11 of us back in the day. And so you know what that's like.
It's crazy. It is. But having a sister that's a nun, like you do and I do, don't you feel like you got a straight shot? You can do anything in life?
A white sheep, right. For the rest of you.
That's it.
Well, that's the way we're playing it, and we're hoping, fingers crossed.
Right.
We got an in. Good seat somewhere, because the perks for having a nun sister aren't so hot.
They aren't. The vow of poverty. It kind of hurts a little bit.
All the free polyester you can get at Kresge's.
Your brother Bill was at the Dead Show the other night. The big story is he stuck around and helped the cleaning crew clean up Soldier Field.
Yeah, that's a sure sign that he might have had a couple. As a kid, he used to actually, I remember a kid, but when he had like the Zorro look going with the Fu Manchu, he used to shovel the whole street, and he would shovel like 5-6 houses and then go up afterwards and ask for the money. And people are like, no, it's all done. Why would I pay you now? But he gets real handy when he's had a couple drinks.
I turned Pete on to St. Vincent's. I was pissed Bill wasn't nominated for St. Vincent. I thought it was a fabulous. And Melissa McCarthy, a rare dramatic role, was very convincing.
She was great, and what's her name that played the Russian gal was phenomenal.
Right.
Everybody was good in
that. Was
and
a
the
good
kid,
movie.
The kid could have been nominated. The
He was
kid
terrific.
was amazing. Yeah, that movie's a good one to rent if anybody rents anymore.
Joel Murray is in town to host Theo Epstein's fundraiser tonight.
It's the third time I've done it, and it's just a hoot. It's over at Metro, and they get all these fantastic musicians from Chicago and Boston come in for this fundraiser. It was originally Theo's thing in Boston. When he came here, he handed it over to Jeff Garland and I, and it is just a fun night. And if you can get into the thing, I think there's still VIP tickets available, but you're 20 feet away from the band at the furthest place at the Metro. I mean, that's a small, tiny venue.
Eddie Vedder singing.
Yeah. Ooh. I was out last night.
That explains a few things.
Yeah. This is early, but...
if I had $1 for every time you said that doing the show, oh, man, I was out late last night.
Well, you got to do that. But it was pretty special at the top of the Virgin Hotel last night, and he was playing with these guys.
And he was singing? God, that never happens to me. You ever walk in with a rock star singing at just a small venue, like at a hotel?
No, it hasn't happened yet.
It just doesn't happen to guys like us.
It was pretty great. And the band was phenomenal. I mean, they went from Led Zeppelin, The Who, and then all of a sudden Eddie Vedder steps in with them, and they transitioned like they had,
God.
They gave each other this look, too, like, hey, remember that night we were in Pearl Jam? You could tell that they were all really excited to be there.
Joel Murray has a golf outing every year at Canal Shores, which is a public course that you guys grew up on.
It's a muni course that kind of runs from Northwestern to the Baha'i Temple up there on the Evanston-Wilmette border. And, many of my firsts in my life happen on that course. I point them out as I go by all the time. That bench over there? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a great little course, and the Ricketts actually live in the neighborhood now, so they've funneled a bunch of money into this course that was a dog track back in the day. It was a horrible course, and now it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's probably the toughest par 60 course I've ever played in the world.
CanalShoresInvitational.com for more information. Where does the money go?
It goes to first responders. It's the guys that go in when I'm running away. I was always a chicken growing up. But
right.
The main part of the charity is we bring these guys in from like Newtown, Connecticut, and 9/11 guys, and we fly them into Chicago and just show them an amazing weekend. And they're always kind of like, yeah, what's the catch? What do you want us to do? It's like, no, we just want to thank you and show you a good time. So
that's really cool.
It is really cool, and they really don't know what's going on. They're just looking at each other going, it just keeps getting better.
It's a great outing, man. Danny, you got to do it this year because I golfed with a first responder from Sandy Hook. Mm-hmm. And once you get past, the brutal stories, you start having a good time. And we ended up totaling our golf cart last year. I had to get a ride home.
Well, that's par on this course.
Yeah,
actually.
It's a Murray outing. There has to be at least one cart destroyed.
How many carts were destroyed last year?
There was 10, I believe.
10.
They
had to pay for 10.
None of them ended up in the canal, so that's good.
Here's the problem. You have alcohol, and you have to cross a busy street. The course, the back 9, you have to cross a main road from Evanston to Wilmette.
You're back and forth across streets the whole time. There was never carts there growing up, and the fact that they allow them just cracks me up. But it's really fun. I think we had 16 bars on 18 holes last year.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's fun. And it's good golf, too. I mean, if you're a golfer.
What's the problem with the other two?
they're just that short. Yeah.
CanalShoresInvitational.com. Joel Murray, how long are you in town? You in town for the weekend? You're leaving tomorrow?
I got to get back, I think, Saturday night. I got to get back for a show I'm doing in Los Angeles. So I'll be the guy with the raspy voice there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Danny Mac today, coming back from Detroit.
We're going to go chain smoke cigs together.
Hey, nice. Keep that on the down low. My sister, the nun's listening.
CanalShoresInvitational.com. Joel Murray, thanks for coming in, man. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Thanks, Joel.
It's 97.1 FM, The Drive.